Good morning, students. Welcome to our first Prep for PEP Ability Marathon. All right, so I am Miss Sims and I'm the owner of Primath Zoom. Also, you might know me because I'm a mathematics coach. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. Welcome to our first Prep for PEP Ability Marathon. All right, so I am Miss Sims and I'm the owner of Primath Zoom. Also, you might know me because I'm a mathematics coach. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. Welcome to our first Prep for PEP Ability Marathon. All right, so I am Miss Sims and I'm the All right, so we have a few persons here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you to hit that share button so that your friends and your other colleagues can join in. Also, what I want you to do is to post the name of your school in the chat so we know where you're tuning in from. And don't
All
forget
right,
to
so we have
subscribe.
a few persons here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you to hit that share button so that your friends and your other
So
colleagues
let's
can
dive
join
right
in.
in.
Also, what I want you to do is to post the name of your school in the chat so we know where you're tuning in from.
And don't
All
forget
right,
to
so we have
subscribe.
a few persons here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you to hit that share button so that your friends and your other
So
colleagues
let's
can
dive
join
right
in.
in.
Also, what I want you to do is to post the name of your school in the chat so we know where you're tuning in from.
And don't
All
forget
right,
to
so we have
subscribe.
a few persons here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you to hit that share button so that your friends and your other
So
colleagues
let's
can
dive
join
right
in.
in.
Also, what I want you to do is to post the name of your
The aims
school
of
in the
this
chat so we
session
know where
is
you're
to
tuning in from.
explore
And
ability
don't,
to
all
get
right,
to
so we have
subscribe
a few persons here.
using
Welcome.
different
Thank you so much for
approaches.
joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you
Also,
to hit
you
that
will be
share button
reasoning
so
out
that your
items with the
friends
other
and your other
students
colleagues
in
can
the
join in.
platform.
Also, what I
So
want
let's
you
go
to
into our
do is
first
to post
question.
the name of your
The aims
school
of
in the
this
chat so we
session
know where
is
you're
to
tuning in from.
explore
And
ability
don't,
to
all
get
right,
to
so we have
subscribe
a few persons here.
using
Welcome.
different
Thank you so much for
approaches.
joining. Before we begin, what I want you to do is I want for you
Also,
to hit
you
that
will be
share button
reasoning
so
out
that your
items with the
friends
other
and your other
students
colleagues
in
can join in.
the platform.
Also, our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer, leave a sentence or two telling us why that is your correct answer. Our first question is for you to choose the correct option in place of the question mark in the following series. So I want you to post your answer in the chat as well as to post your reasoning. So if you select a particular answer,
All right, so I'm seeing many lovely responses in the chat. And our correct answer is, if we work it like this, we can think of moving from one number to the next. So what we need to do firstly is that we need to look at the numbers, how we're moving from one number to the next. I am having a problem. I keep echoing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the intervals. So from 21 to 25, what is happening? From 25 to 33, what is happening? From 33 to 49, what is happening? From 49 to 81, what is happening? And what will be happening now from 81 to the next number that we don't know? So what you could actually do, you could have drawn up a table and you could have created a relationship there, as well as if you observe from 21 to 25, we have 4. From 25 to 33, we have 8. From 33 to 49, we have 16. From 49 to 81, we have 32, and so on. So if you look at those numbers in between, you realize as we go up, we are practically doubling that number. We are multiplying that number by 2 and adding it to the previous term. And so if we continue to do that, and we're now at 82, the previous number that we would have had would have been 32. And when we multiply that by 2 and add this the product to 81, we will get 145. So you can go ahead and look at what we have here. Check your answer. For those who got it incorrect, you can also make a note. Take a screenshot if you like, and ensure that you have the correct working out, the correct explanation behind it. All right, so the correct answer is 145. All right, so let us move on to the next question. The next question is to choose the correct option again in place of the question mark in the following series. And this series have 91, 85, 94, 83, 97, 81, the missing number, then 79. And we have 4 alternatives here. So go ahead, think about it, and post your responses in the chat. So Kayla, I'm seeing your answer and the explanation for our first question. Great job. I'm still looking out in the chat for the responses. Yes, Zandre Myers, I'm definitely seeing your process here as well. All right, so I'm seeing several responses being 100. I think I saw 98 a few times as well. So let's look at what is happening here. If we observe the numbers, we realize that we have two sets of numbers. We have some numbers increasing as well as we have some numbers decreasing. With the numbers that are increasing, you'll realize that we have 91, 94, 97, and then our missing number. And if you look at when we're moving from 91 to 94, we have 3. So we would be adding 3 to 91 to get 94. And we would be adding 3 again to 94 to get 97. So to reach to the missing number, we would add 3 to 97 and we would get 100. But let us not ignore the other numbers there. They have a rule. So you look at the other set of numbers and you realize that they are decreasing. So each time you realize we're subtracting 2. So 85 subtract 2 give us 83. 83 subtract 2 give us 81. 81 subtract 2 give us 79. So they are basically two sets here, and our correct answer would be 100. Awesome. Great job, guys. All right. So I'm just going to give you a couple seconds to go ahead and do your screenshot. All right. So let's move on to our next question. Look at the pattern below. And we want to find the number of matches or matchsticks in the 10th shape. So before you're doing all of that, you have to observe this pattern here below to tell us, you know, what rule is happening here. Tell us what you observe with this pattern. All right, so look at these patterns here. What are you observing? All right, I see from small to large, they keep getting bigger. You add an extra layer. I'm seeing add 2. Tell us a little more. What do you mean when you say add 2? All right, so I see where some persons are saying the pattern is moving in descending order. But remember that descending order is from largest to smallest. Is that what we're observing here? All right, so yes, we see that it's getting bigger, but can you tell us how it is getting bigger? It's getting bigger by how many and so on. Can you give us answers for that? Tell us what you think. Tell us why you think it's actually increasing by this amount and so on. All right, so Avia, I see where you're saying Avia, that's one. I see where you're saying add 6, add 8, add 10, add 12, then add 14. Can you tell us a little more? Because that's definitely what we're doing. So if you look at from 4 to 10, we have 6 in between. And you look as well from 10 to 18, we have 8. So each time you could say that we're adding 6, 8, 10, and so on. Awesome observation, Avia or Avia. So here you would realize that you would realize that in between 4 and 10, we have 6. Between 10 and 18, we have 8. Between 18 and 28, we have 10. Between 28 and 40, we have 12. Between 40 and 54, we have 14. So you can see that sort of a succession. You're seeing where we're increasing each time with the numbers that are in between by 2. Let us go a little further in this question. Looking at the pattern, can you tell me what number of matches there would be in the 10th shape? So I'm waiting for some responses in the chat. How many matchsticks would be there in the 10th shape? All right, Lloyd Ferguson, I see you. Great job. Can you tell us how you got that though? Can you give us an explanation as to how you got your answer? Kevin Blake, go ahead and tell us how you got your answers. All right, Toria, senior correct answer as well. All right, so I would like some justification here. I want to understand how you got 130 for your answer. Good job, Zandre. All right, so let us look at how we could work this question. So the 7th term would be 54 plus 16, because remember we're adding 2 to the interval number, then we're adding that to the previous term. So we have 54 plus 16 is equal to 70 for the 7th term. For the 8th term, we have 70 plus 18 equals 88. For the 9th term, we have 88 plus 20 equals 108. And for the 10th term, we have 108 plus 22 equal to 130. Great job, guys. Go ahead and take a picture of the correct answer or do a screenshot so you have this for future. Great job, guys. All right, so let us move on to the next question. I want you to observe this pattern here. Observe the pattern to your right and tell us how many matches are there in each of the 3 designs. How many matches are there in each of the 3 designs? So in the chat, you're going to type design 1, you put the number, design 2, you put the number, design 3, you put the number, because I need to follow to see what 4 means. I see 6 here, but what do those numbers mean, you know? So I want you to tell me number 1 design equals to this, number 2, this, and so on. All right, so I'm seeing 4, 8, 12 for from a few persons. Definitely. So in the first design, we have 4 matches. In the second, we have 8. Good job, guys. I'm seeing you there in the chat.
In the third, we have 12. So we have 4 matchsticks in the first design, 8 in the second design, and 12 in the third design. I hope we all have observed that. All right, great job, guys. All right, so let's move on to the next part of this question. How many matches will be there in the fourth design? So you have observed design 1, design 2, design 3. Tell me, how many matches will be there in the fourth design? Dante Thomas, great job. Okay, Mimi, correct. All right. So I'm seeing a bunch of 16 coming up. And guess what, guys? You have done well. Awesome. So definitely the fourth shape will contain 16 matches. If you follow the pattern from 4, 8, 12, you know that the fourth shape will have 16 matches. Can you tell me how you figured that out? Go ahead and tell us the rule in the chat. All right, so I see someone say that we're doubling each number, but we actually aren't. We're not doubling each number. Instead, what we're doing, okay, great job, guys. Instead, what we're doing is we're adding 4 each time. So the rule is +4 or add 4. So we're adding 4 each time we go up in the design. All right, so do you see a connection between the number of matches and the design number? What is that connection? Yes, there are multiples of 4. Adding 4 each time. Awesome. So what connection do you see between the number of matches and the number of and the design number? Go ahead and do your workout in your books so that you can, properly explain to us what connection there is between the number of the matches and also the design number. All right, so when we say what connection there is, we mean what relationship there is. So we want to know if the design number 1 has 4 matches and design number 2 has 8 matches, design number 3 has 12 matches, design number 4 has 16 matches. What can you say about the number, the design number, as well as the number of matches for that design number? Is that same relationship does that relationship exist for the second design? Does it exist for the third design? Does it exist for the fourth design? And if it does, then you can tell us the relationship between the design number and the number of matches. All right, so I'm seeing Ashley Mackinson, and she says the design and matches is that you are multiplying the design and the matches number to get your answer. And you're onto something, definitely. Great job. So the connection is that if you are supposed to find if you're going to find the match number, you can look at this rule to say the connection to say that the number of matches is always 4 times the design number. So number 1, if you multiply 4 by it, you will get back here 4 for the design number, for the number of matches. So the number of matches is always 4 times the design number. The number of matches for design 2 is 8. And 4 times design 2 will give us 8. For design 3, the number of matches there is 12. So if we had multiplied 4 by 3, we will get our 12. And the same for the 16. So that is definitely a relationship that we need to observe here. What relationship exists between the design number and the number of matches? How many matches will there be in design 10? So we have looked at all of those things. We have picked up on the relationship and so on. Can you tell me how many matches there will be in design 10? I'm seeing some responses in the chat, and it would be lovely if you give a little explanation as well, so I know what process you had used, what strategy you used to find the number of matches in design 10. So don't just put your answer. I'm seeing a lot of 40 here. Can someone tell us why you say 40? So please type your response here in the chat so I can, know what your strategy is. So I see Jaden Clough and Janae Barrett saying 4 multiplied by 10 is equal to 40. And you are so correct. Design 10 will contain 40 matches because we had observed the pattern and we look at the relationship, didn't we? Yes, we did. And we know that the design number, if we multiply it by 4, we get the number of matches there will be in that design. So here we will multiply 4 by design 10 and that will give us 40. So there will be 40 matches in design 10. Great job, guys. Awesome. Let us look at this question. How many matches will there be in design N? Put your answer in the chat as well as your justification. All right, Tifari Edwards, I'm seeing your response. Janae Barrett, I'm seeing your response. Kaylee Green, awesome, guys, awesome. So I'm seeing some lovely responses here in the chat, but no justification, guys. Tell us, why do you say the answer is 4n or 4 multiplied by n?
All right, so Kelly's Archibald, sorry, says you multiply 4 by n. We definitely gonna multiply 4 by n. So based on what we have been doing and based on our justification for the previous questions, we know that we need to multiply the design number, which in this case is design n, by 4. So design n will contain 4 n matches, 4 multiplied by n. Now, when we do stuff like this, when we find a rule for the nth term of a sequence, we call that the general rule. And that means all we would need to do is substitute the design number with n, substitute n with the design number, multiply by 4, and we will get the number of matches in that. So this general rule here can be applied to any problem you have where you need to find the number of matches, or even if you want to find the design number. Let's move on to this other question. Which design will have 100 matches in it? Remember, post your answers in the chat as well as your justification. Which design will have 100 matches in it? So I'm seeing some correct answers here. However, I'm not seeing any justification. We want answer and justification at the same time, guys. All right, so I see David Green saying 100 divided by 4. Shani Young says because 4 times 25 is 100. All right, let me see some more responses here. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of responses here in the chat, and mostly you guys are correct. So let us talk about this. Let us talk about how we would get the design number by just having the 100 matchsticks. So if we know that to find the number of matchsticks, we need to multiply 4 by the design number. Can't we do the inverse here to find the number of to find the design number? Can't we do the opposite to find the number, the design number? If we have 100 matches this time, can't we do the opposite? So instead of multiplying 4 by the design number, can't we divide our answer, our product, which would have been 100 matches in this case? Can't we divide that by 4 to get our design number? So the 25th design will have 100 matches in it. Because if you have that general rule, 4n tells you the number of matches, then you can actually find the design number by dividing your n by 4. And your n in this case is the number of matches, which is 100. You can divide that by 4. And then you will get your 25th design. Go ahead again, take your screenshot. And remember again to share the live so that your other friends and classmates who are not here yet can join. All right, so let's move on to this question. Seven times a variable x
and 5 times another variable y results in 94. What pair of values of x and y will satisfy the expression? So go ahead, put your pencil to paper and get a working. So tell us which of these pair of values of x and of y will satisfy the expression. So I'm seeing so many different responses here in the chat. I'm seeing C a lot, I'm seeing A a lot, D a lot. Can you type the responses instead of the letter? Can you type whether x is equal to 20 and y is equal to whatever based on the responses here? So if your answer is A, can you type x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 5? So we can see that instead of the C and the A's and so on. All right, so I'm seeing some answers here in the chat, but no justification, guys. So can you justify why your answer is x equals 7 and y equal 5? Or why is your answer x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 9? Whichever answer you chose, can you justify it? All right, so what I want to do, guys, the person who participates the most and has the best conceptual understanding and fluency based on your responses in the chat, I want to shout you out in my next video, as well as I want to present you with a certificate. So at the end of this live, I'm going to go through these comments again, and I'm going to see who that person is, or those two persons are. All right. So remember, when we're responding, we need to justify our responses so that other persons in the chat can have an understanding of why your answer is what it is.
All right, so we have someone here with us. And Aliyah, I want you to open your microphone and I want you to explain this answer to us all. So we have Aliyah here with us on Zoom, and she's going to explain to us her answer and also what she did to get her answer. All right,
Good
go ahead,
morning.
Aliyah.
Good morning, everyone. My answer is C, that is 7, and Y. And how I got my answer is I followed the rule up top that says 7 times a variable is X. So what I did is I multiplied 7. I add 7 times and I got 49. Then I put that down. Then I add 9 5 times. Then I got 45, and then I add them together to get 94.
All right. Thank you so much, Aliyah. And you are indeed correct. So you could have added your 7 times to get 49, as well as you could just say 7 times 7, and you will also get your 49. And you can multiply your 5 times 9, as well as you could just add your 5 9 times. So great job. Our answer is C. So congratulations for those of you in the chat who got C for your correct answer, and for those of you who also did your explanation. So there you go. There's a picture of the workout that we can do, or we could have done, and we can also do it Aliyah's way, using repeated addition. All right, so let's move on to our next question. Imagine a dish with 3 types of fruits: 1 apple, 1 banana, and 1 orange. How many different arrangements can you imagine without repeating the fruits? So this question is basically asking you to arrange the apple, banana, and orange in different arrangements. So you're going to have them in different arrangements. You should have all 3 fruits all the time, but we're arranging them differently. How many arrangements, different arrangements, can we have without repeating the fruits? All right, guys. So I want you to put all I want you to put the answer there first, and I want you also to list all the different arrangements in the same message. Because when I'm going through to see your correct answers and the persons who are answering correctly most times, to select that person who I will award the certificate, then I want to see all your responses at the same place. So I'm seeing 6, I'm seeing 3. In the chart, I'm seeing 1. So I'm actually seeing these responses. I'm seeing all 4 responses now. I'm even seeing 12 for answers. So I'm seeing persons responding 1, 3, 6, 12. But remember, guys, you must justify your answer. So here I want you to tell us the different arrangements that you can imagine without repeating the fruits.
All right, so I'm still seeing the number of arrangements in the chart, but I'm not really seeing the different arrangements of the fruits. All right, so I see Gail say that, Gail Chang says banana, apple, orange, apple, orange, banana, orange, apple, banana. So the answer is 3. Do you think we can get more arrangement, guys? I am seeing Tori S with a very lovely explanation here in the chat. Tori S, lovely explanation. All right. I see you, Tori. I see you. All right. Remember, guys, whenever we're posting our answers, always ensure you post a sentence or two to explain your answer. All right, so indeed the correct answer is 6. And these are the possible arrangements. So we could have apple, banana, orange. Check your answers and then ensure that you have these arrangements. We have apple, banana, orange. We have banana, orange, apple. We have orange, apple, banana. We have apple, orange, banana. We have banana, apple, orange. And we have orange, banana, apple. So if you realize here, we have 3 different fruits. And if you look closely, you'll realize that each fruit would have started the sequence once. Each fruit would have come second in the sequence, not once. Each fruit would have started the different arrangements twice. They would have also been in the second position twice, and they would also have appeared in the third position twice. So these are the 6 arrangements. All right, so awesome, and congratulations to those students who did their nice justification in the chat. Our correct answer is 6, and these are the different arrangements. Let us move to our next question. At which point is 2124 located on the number line? And we have our answers here. At which point would this fraction 21/24 appear on this number line? Where is it located on the number line? And remember, students, when you post your answer, give a 1-sentence justification. We need to know why you say that is your answer. All right, so I'm seeing in the chat here, give me 1 minute, let us go back. I'm seeing someone say that we said not to repeat any fruits. Now, when we say not to repeat any fruits, we mean that in this arrangement here, we can't have 2 apples and 1 banana. We have to, in each of the arrangements, the fruit must be there once. So in this first arrangement, we have the apple, then the banana, then the orange. We don't have the apple twice. We don't have the banana twice, nor the orange. In the second arrangement, we have each fruit only once again. We have each fruit only once again in the third arrangement, fourth arrangement, fifth and sixth arrangement. So indeed, we did not repeat any fruits, all right? So the arrangement itself, that is where we will not be repeating the fruits. All right, so it says, how many different arrangements can you imagine without repeating the fruits? I hope that cleared up any questions that anyone had. All right, so back to our question. Where is this fraction located on the number line? All right, so Kasim says P because the line is 24 out of 24. So 21, when you count it would be 21 out of 24. So you're saying P is at 21 out of 24. All right, let me see some more comments here. All right, so Josiah Bennett says T because it represents 7/8 and the 21/24, which is equivalent to 7/8. I'm seeing some responses here. I like justification, so thank you guys for justifying your answers. Let's look a little closely to this number line. So some of you are saying that this represents 24 out of 24, one whole, and you're definitely correct. From 0 to 1 represents one whole. So these things that come in between would be a fraction of this whole. Given that we have our denominator, which is 24, we have 21 24s, it means that this one whole here has 24 24ths in it. So from 0 to 1, we have 1 24th, 2 24ths, all the way to 24 24ths. All right, so with this being said here, if we look at the different points here, we can always do our calculations using fractions or whichever way you're comfortable with to decide at what point would be halfway. So right here would be halfway in the middle, right just after Q. It looks like halfway. And if this is halfway, we know that this is 12 24ths. And we can go ahead again and we can look to see where other fractions fall. So we will have 3 24ths, 6 24ths, 9 24ths, 12 24ths, 15 24ths, 18 24ths, 21 24ths. So the line is divided so that we have 3 24ths being added each time until we get to the whole of 24 24ths. And so the correct answer is T, 21 24ths. Go ahead, look at the problem here and see if you're seeing the connection. Look at to see if you're seeing the connection that we're making. Remember, between 0 and 1, that would represent one whole, and the fractions that come in between would be 24ths. That would be our fraction name. And so we can go ahead and calculate. So T is our correct answer. Great job, guys. I see you in the chat. Great job. All right, so let's move on to our next question. A trendy new pants design is out on the market. Miss Mellon, the storekeeper, is very cautious. She doesn't want to invest too heavily on this new design. A wholesale dealer will allow Miss Mellon to purchase one size of this new pants at a reduced price for a special promotion. The following pant sizes were collected the last time Miss Mellon had a special sale. So these are the pant size here in green. We have 4, 9, 4, 4, 8, 4, 11, 5, 5, 12, 10, 8, 10, 6, 10, 8, 7, 10,797. And the question to you is, which arithmetic average Miss Mellon should use to select the best pan size? Before you tell me that, do you know what the arithmetic averages are? And if you do, please post them in the chat. What are the arithmetic averages? I see Puma Kid saying mode. All right, so this is one of the averages. What other averages do we have? We have mean as well. We have mode, we have mean. What other averages do we have? We also have median. So we have mean, mode, and median. Thank you, Kahim Tyrell. So we have 3 arithmetic averages, or we can call them statistical averages. And up top, I saw where Puma Kid says the correct answer is mode. Can you justify, can you tell us why you think mode is the best arithmetic average? So I'm seeing some answers in the chat, but I'm not seeing your justification. All right, so while we're talking about this question, while we're writing our justification for the correct answer, those of you who want to get a little water or stretch your feet, go ahead, take 2 minutes to stretch your legs and refresh, and be right back here with your justification. If you say the correct answer is mode, tell us why. If you say mean, tell us why. And if you say median, please tell us why. So remember to do your little stretches and be back here in the next 1 minute. All right, students, welcome back, welcome back. So I am definitely seeing your answers in the chat, and I'm seeing your justifications as well, and I'm liking them. So the correct answer here is mode, and many of you would have said in the chat that it is mode because she needs to look at the pant size that is bought the most frequent. So the favorite pant size, the one that is bought the most. So your answer with mode is definitely correct. So someone asked me to explain after we get the answer here, and usually I would. So we have the mean, and we know that the mean has to do with average, where we add all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers that we added. We have the median, which is where we arrange our numbers in ascending or descending order, and then we select that middle number. If it's an odd number set of numbers, or if it's an even number set of numbers, those two middle number, we'll just find the mean average for it. And we also have mode, which talks about the frequency that a number or so or term appear. So in this case here, we have some numbers appearing more than some. And I mean, if you're a business person and you want to know what size pants to buy, because you're almost running out, or you are buying some new pants or so on, wouldn't you want to know which pant size will sell the most? And that would definitely be representing the mode. So you want to know which pant size people have been buying the most, and you want to stock up on that pant size. All right, so the mode is really telling us that we should use the most bought pant size to determine which pant size we should be buying. All right, so I hope that explains a little more for those of you who weren't so sure. And great job to those students who have gotten their answer correct, as well as their justifications. For those who did not get it correct, I hope you understand now. All right, so thank you for your participation. Let's move on to our next question. All right, so I wanted you to write a statement to justify your choice, which you already did. So you can skip here. All right, so the Dillons, they're a family. The Dillons want to put outdoor tiles on their porch. The diagram represents the section of the porch. Using 2 meters to represent the length of each square tile, how many tiles are needed to cover the whole porch? So to your right here, you'll see an outline with the purple borders. You'll see an outline for the porch that the Dillons want to tile. And you'll also see a little key up top here that says that this size tile represents 2 square meters. We want to know how many tiles are needed to cover this whole porch. So I'm seeing your answers in the chat. Remember to apply the scale of 2 square meters for each tile. So I'm seeing some answers in the chat, but it appears that we are not taking in consideration that each square tile, the length of each square tile is 2 meters. So the square tile would be, you know, All right, so I'm still seeing some responses here coming in the chat, but I'm not seeing that response that I'm looking for. All right, so a question I want to ask you is, if it is that the length of each of these square tiles here is 2, so right here to here, let me annotate. So from right here to here is 2 meters, and from right here to here is another 2 meters. That means the space here, this little square tile here, what area would this be? And if we know what area this tile here would be, then we can also decide what area the other tiles should be. All right, Adora Bedward. So I'm seeing at least the correct answer appearing once or twice here in the chat. But many persons are saying 64. So I'm just going to go right ahead and do some explaining here. All right. So if you look at this portion here, we could say that this part here, the area of this square tile here would now be 4 squared meters. Because to find the area of a square, we multiply side by side, right? So for here, we have 2 times 2. So each square tile here would be 4 squared meters. And if we keep adding 4 squared meters each time, so this is 4, this would be 8, this would be 12, this would be 16, this would be 20, this would be 24, and so on. And if we continue all of that, what would we end up with? As well as, what if we counted them normally and then we multiply it by the number of square tiles? That could work as well. All right, so let us look at those dimensions. And we note that our correct answer would be 128 square meters. So we can add these. We'll go ahead and add these. I'll add all of them with you so that we are all on the same page. So for the first part here, we have 4 square meters. We have 8, we have 12, we have 16, we have 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68, 72, 76, 80, 84, 88, 92, 96, 100, 104, 108, 112, 116, 120, 124, 128. Because we know that each of these square tiles, if we multiply our 2 times 2, we will end up with 4 squared meters for each of these small tile here, based on this expression, this explanation over here. So our correct answer would be 128 squared meters. All right, so David Green, I'm hearing where you're saying it's wrong. I'm not sure if you're talking to the colleagues there or you're talking to me, but can you explain why it is wrong in the chat for us, please? All right, so let's move on to our other question here. A piece of string is placed on the border of the porch. What is the length of the piece of string? All right. Yes, Story. Great job. So you have worked it out a little different, but you came up with the same answer. All right. So David, it did say the area up here is 2, but in the instruction we had that for the length, the sides measured 2 meters. So it said that each side of the square measured 2 meters. So up here as an arrow, but the explanation that we add over here was already okay. All right, so right up here at the arrow. So let us disregard this part. All right, so go ahead and tell us what is the length of the piece of string that we can place along the border of this Porsche. All right, so I'm seeing plenty responses here in the chat. So if we're going to place a string on the border of the Porsche, what are we finding? What term, mathematical term, can we use to describe what we would be trying to determine in here? The perimeter of the length, I see David Green saying. All right. Alia's world is saying perimeter as well. Great job. So if we're going to find the length, or we're going to place a string along the border, it means that we want to find the perimeter. So what would the perimeter be? So I have put in, because we know that the measurements is that for each length of this square tile, it will be 2 meters. So I have gone ahead already and I would have worked out what this entire length would be with that in mind. So if you go ahead and you place a string around here, you would need 52 meters of string to place around here. All right, so I'm not seeing 52 coming in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to count it together to ensure that we are correct. So let us go ahead and count. All right, so here we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we have 12 here. We have this part here as well, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52. So remember, we have to be putting that, we have to put that string all all the way around the border of the porch. So we can't leave out any part. So I believe that because I did not number or write the length for some of the sides, you did not go ahead and figure it out, that you can go ahead and do your calculations. So you might have gone ahead and just added what is happening here, or the sides that you can clearly see and their measurement. All right. So great job, guys. Great job. I see you typing your 52 meters. Some of you in the chat. Great job. All right. So we're going to work on this sort of question, missing number cards. So you're going to observe this 100 chart carefully. So take some seconds to observe this 100 chart carefully. And then we get into some questions about this 100 chart. All right, so now that you have observed the 100 chart, let us go into some questions about this 100 chart. So which number is missing from the labeled squares? So based on the 100 chart, and I've put it back right here so you can look at it to work out this question here. Can you tell me what number should be where A is? So in the chat, you're going to type A is equal to, and you write your number there. What number should be where A is? And what number should be where B is? Now, while you're answering these questions, please put your justification as well. I'm seeing where you're saying A is 46, but why? What number should be where B is? What number should be where C is? D, E, F, G, H. Let's see your answers here in the chat. Remember, you can't just write 46. You have to tell me A is equal to 46 or so on and so forth. All right, so B is equal to 48, i.e. THXN says, since 48 is directly above 58. All right, great job. That's a good explanation. I'm trying to see some other justifications here. 46 comes before 47. Good. So what rule are we applying here? So if a number comes before a particular number, to find the number that comes before, we just need to subtract 1 from the given number. And to find the number that comes next, we just need to add 1. So these are some things that I want you to observe, and these are some things I want you to use to describe how you decide that, yes, A is this, B is this. Now, what is C? I'm not seeing much. Okay, C is 57. E is 67. Okay, great job. I'm seeing your responses in the chat. I see H is 65. Can someone tell us why H cannot be 65? All right, so indeed A is 46, B is 48, C is 57 because it comes before 58 and it comes 10 spaces down after 47. E is 67, D is 66, F is 76, which makes H 77, and which makes G 77 and H 87. So you guys are definitely correct. Great job. So now H could not have been 65 because there's a pattern here to observe, a pattern which exists on all 100 charts, and it exists here as well. All right, so it has, someone explained the state as 7 in the ones place. Awesome. All right, so let's look at this one. Now we don't have our 100 chart to help us, but can you tell me what R is equal to, what S is equal to, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z? Let's hear your answers in the chat. All right, so I'm seeing some answers coming in, but remember, you can't just write the number. You have to tell me what letter is equal to that number, okay? Awesome. All right, so to work this, what we can look at, we can start from the numbers that we're comfortable with. We can start from the numbers that we can actually see the pattern coming clearly. So we have 75 right here. And we know that the number that would come directly before 75 is 74. So V is equal to 74. U would be equal to 73. And T will be equal to 72. If U is equal to 73, we know that R would be equal to 63, W will be equal to 83, and Y would be equal to 103. We can also figure out our X by saying the number before 103 is 102, and the number after 103 is 104. So Z is equal to 104. So those are some things that we can look at. As well as we didn't look at S, but we know that if V is 74, then S would have to be 64. So we are using the different rules here, but can you tell me the rules that you're observing along the diagonals? What rule are you observing along the diagonals? What do you notice about the neighboring numbers? I'm seeing counting by 10. But remember, you have to tell us in which direction to get what. All right. So you're saying counting by 10. We count by 10 from R to move to S. Tell us what you mean by counting by 10. All right, so I'm seeing some responses in the chat. What is happening with the neighboring numbers? We know that the number to our left is one less and the number to our right is one more. So that is definitely something to observe. We also know that the number directly below is 10 more, and the number after that is 10 more, and the number directly above is 10 less. We also know that. But what do you see happening along the diagonals? So I see that we add 11 in the diagonals. Great job, definitely. Along the diagonals, we add 11 when we're increasing in number. And of course, we will subtract 11 when we're decreasing. So great job, guys. You did well on this one. Awesome. Let's look at this question. Sharper sells pencils for $20.75 each. Approximately how much would 1,200 pencils cost? Aliyah, if you want to explain this one when you have worked it out, you just open your microphone and you can share with us, okay?
Okay, Miss.
So I'm seeing C in the chat, but remember, I kind of want to see you writing the answers, you know? What does C represent? Write the answers.
Miss, I'm ready to answer. Miss, should I go ahead?
Awesome, Aliyah, let's go.
So my answer is more than 24,000, but less than 36,000. So what I did was
You can go right ahead, Aliyah, and answer.
So I multiplied 1,200.
Yes, you can go ahead and answer.
I multiplied 1,200 by $20.75, and I got $24,900. And for all of the other options, they're saying less than 1,200, more than 1,200, but less than 24. And for D, it says more than 36,000. And I got 24,900, $34,900. And what the question said, it said approximately. So I have to give I can't give like 24,000 and leave the 900. So approximately it would be more than 24,000 but less than 36,000.
Great job, Alia. And indeed, you are correct. A lovely explanation. So, guys, there you have it. C, which is more than 24,000, but less than 36,000 is our correct answer. So you would just need to find out how many 1,200 pencil would cost, and then you look to see in which of these categories your answer would fall. Let us now move on to our next question. The diagram below represents a certain amount of marbles in a bag. Half of them are red. The number of blue marbles is the same amount as the number of green marbles. Which of the following could not be the number of marbles in the bag? So I'm seeing some responses in the chat. I'm seeing 96, I'm seeing 76, I'm seeing 66. I'm seeing 96 again. I'm seeing lots of C's, but remember, I want the answer. I'm seeing even 97. All right, guys, I am definitely seeing the chat. Very busy with your answers. All right, so let us go and, okay, I'm seeing an explanation here from Tori S. Let's read what she have. So she has the lowest common multiple of 2 and 4 is 4. So we can do this by dividing each answer by 4. The answer that cannot be divided by 4 is B, 66. All right, so that's a great explanation there. All right, so definitely, Tori, you're correct. Our correct answer is indeed 66. If we look at the numbers here, we have to find a number that is a multiple of 4 as well as a multiple of 2. And that common multiple should be one of these numbers, or in fact, should be some of these numbers. So it says which one of them could not have been the number of marbles in the bag. So 66 couldn't have been the number of marbles in the bag. So your correct answer is B. Good job, Tori S, for explaining so ably. All right, great job. I'm seeing your answers coming in. All right, so let's move on to our next question. Alice has twice as much money as Bradley. Alice has 4 times as much money as Pam. Pam has $3 more than Frank. If Bradley has $14, how much money do Frank, Pam, and Alice have? Go right ahead, work it out. And when you're posting your answers, please post Frank equals, Pam equals, Alice equals, Bradley equals. So we know exactly what you're saying. So don't send part of your answers, okay? Put all of it in one so we can follow what you're saying. Go ahead and work it out. I see some persons in the chat looking fearful and frightened with this question, but take your time. Look at the question. What you can do, you can underline the most important information or highlight the most important information that will help you to figure out the answer. All right, so IETHXN, I see where you have Alice has $28, Pam has $7, Frank has $4. Could you give us a little explanation further down in the chat? All right, I'm seeing Cameron Lindsay as well with that answer. And mind you, that is the correct answer. Can we get some explanations in the chat? Kalia, yes, so those of you who have that answer, can you explain in the chat? All right, David Green, all right. All right, Aliyah, what answer do you have?
Miss, I
Have you worked it out as yet?
No, miss, I am not finished working out.
All right. All right, so I'm seeing some calculations in the chat, and I'm seeing where a lot of us are correct with our calculations. So let us look at how we could solve this. We need to move from what we know to what we don't know. So when we're solving questions like these, we have different strategies. Is working backwards. So you realize that the most concrete information is at the end of the question, because it says almost to the end that if Bradley has $14, this would tell us that Bradley has $14. What we would need to do next is we need to look to see which other person's amount of money, you know, as a relationship with what Bradley has. So it says that Alice has twice as much money as Bradley. So if Bradley has 14, to get what Alice has, we need to multiply the 14 by 2, because twice means 2 times, right? So 2 times 14 would give us $28 for Alice. Now that we know about Alice's money and Bradley's money, let us find another person who has a relationship based on the amount of money they have with either Alice or Bradley. It says Alice has 4 times as much as Pam. So if Alice has 28 and she has 4 times as much as Pam, that means in order to find this out, we need to divide what Alice has by 4 to see how much Pam has. Because eventually, we would have to multiply that 4 by what Pam has to get what Alice has. So 28 divided by 4 will give us 7. So we can say that Pam has $7. And then now we have Frank. We don't know what Frank has, but we have so much information that can help us to figure this out. I'm definitely seeing a lot of explanations here in the chat. Great, great job, guys. I'm so proud of you all. So we need to find out about Frank. And it says Pam has 3 more than Frank, which means that Frank has 3 less than Pam. So if Pam has 7 and Frank has 3 less, it means it's $7 take away 3, which would give us $4 for Frank. All right, so for those of you who did not get these answers, we have some calculations here on the board that you can always jot down, take as notes, so that you can always look at how it was worked out and match it with what you have done to see, you know, where you would have made a mistake and how you can correct that mistake. All right, guys, so great job. Let us go to this question. Very similar. Cade, Phil, Debbie, and Kev are neighbors. Cade is half as old as Debbie. Debbie is 3 years older than Kev. Kev's and Debbie's ages added together equals 17. Phil is 8. Who is the youngest? So you're going to tell us who is the youngest person based on this information. So go ahead. Remember, you can always underline the important information before you start to answer. And think about what strategy, how can you answer this question correctly? Go ahead, work it out and share your answer with us in the chat, as well as your explanation. So I'm seeing Cade is the youngest. I'm seeing Phil is the youngest. Kev is the youngest. I'm seeing many different answers here. Alia, are you finished working out and would you like to share?
Yes, Miss. Miss Kate is the youngest. So
All right. So Aliyah, you can go ahead and tell us your answer and your explanation.
so Miss, I added 12 and 5 to get 17. So 12 would be Debbie's age and 5 would be Kev's age. And then I take away half of Debbie's age to get Kate's age, and I already know Phil's age, which is 8. So Kate is 6. That means he is the youngest. Excuse me, Miss. The wa- Debbie is Debbie is
All
12.
right. Thank you for that, Aliyah. However, we have to pay attention as well to that part that says that the sum of Debbie's age and Kev's ages are the sum of their ages is 17 years. So that means whatever age Debbie is, you can go ahead, Aliyah.
Miss, I was saying Kev is the oldest, the youngest, as how I got it.
So we need to pay attention to the part that says their ages add up to 17. So whatever Debbie's ages and Kev's ages, when we add them together, we will get 17. All right, so you have changed your answer from Kate to Kev.
Yes, Miss.
That's what you're saying, Aliyah?
Yes, Miss.
All right, so I'm not hearing Aliyah. All right, thank you so much, Aliyah, for explaining. And I'm going to go right ahead, guys, and I'm also going to explain. All right, so indeed, Cade is the youngest. Cade is the youngest, and let us see why. So if it is that Phil is 8 years old, because it tells us that Phil is 8. We know that Phil is 8. Then, and they also tell us that Debbie and Kev's age total 17. So what numbers total 17? It gives us additional information to say that Debbie is 3 years older than Kev. So whatever two numbers we have, one of the number should be 3 more than the other number. So let us look at these two set of information here and to see what two numbers total 17, where one of the number is 3 more than the other. That is something we need to think about as well. So we know numbers that add to 17 are like 1 and 16, 2 and 15, 3 and 14, 4 and 13, and so on. And we can go as far as having 14. So we have 14 as one. So we can go as far as having 7 and 10. 7 and 10 total 17. And 10 is 3 more than 7. So that means Debbie and Kev, one of them is 7, one of them is 10. It says Debbie's 3 is older than Kev. So that means Debbie is the one who is 10 and Kev is the one who is 7. So here we can say 17 take away 3 is equal to 14. 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7 for Kev's age, because it says that Kev and Debbie's age added together equals 17 years. So we need to underline all of these important information here. So Cade is half Debbie's age. So Cade is half as old as Debbie. So Cade is half Debbie's age. And if Debbie is 10, to find half of Debbie's age, we need to divide by 2, and that will give us 5. So that means Kate is 5. If Kate is 5, Kev is 7, Debbie is 10, Phil is 8, it means that Kate would have been the youngest child. All right. So thank you guys. Ensure you take down these calculations so that you have them for future. Let us move on to this part. Find the number. So Mary gave the clue below about a number. Can you guess that number? So the clue is, I am between 10 and 20. I am an odd number. I am a factor of 26. What is this number that we're talking about?
Miss,
So I'm seeing a lot of 13 in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of 13 in the chat here. Aliyah, what answer did you get?
Miss, I also got 13, and can I explain it?
Yes, Aliyah, what answer did you get?
13. And how I got it was, it said it is a number between 10 and 20. So that part is correct. So it is the number between 10 and 30 would be 30.
Most definitely, go right ahead.
Would be 13. Then it says I am an odd number, and 13 is an odd number. Then it also says I am a factor of 26, and 13 is a factor of 26.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aliyah. And she did explain it beautifully. Because first, we need to think of a number which is between 10 and 20, or all the numbers between 10 and 20. Then we will eliminate, because it also said that the number is an odd number. So we need to think of the numbers, which is we have 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Then it goes right ahead again to say that I am a factor of 26. And you know what factors are? Factors are numbers that you can multiply to get their 26. So what number will that be? 13 is that odd number that appears between 10 and 20 and is also a factor of 26. Great job, Aliyah. Great job to all you students that are responding in the chat. For those who did not get it correct, I hope you understand our explanation and you can make your corrections. Let's move on to the next question. So Floyd gave the clue about a number. He says, I fall between 30 and 40. I am a multiple of 4 and a multiple of 6. I am an even number. Which number am I? All right. So I'm seeing a lots of responses in the chat. I'm seeing some 36, I'm seeing some 2, I'm seeing some 24, I'm seeing some 34. Lots of responses in the chat. Aliyah, did you do this one as yet?
Yes, Miss, I did.
Have you done this one, Aliyah?
Yes, Miss. Miss, are you hearing me?
All right. Would you like to share?
Yes, Miss. So the number that I got is 36. So it falls between 30 and 40, and it says I am a multiple of 4 and also a multiple
All
of.
right. So thank you for that. Go right ahead and explain. Tell us your number first and explain.
So the number is 36, and so it falls between 30 and 40, and it also says, and then it says I am a multiple of 4 and a multiple of 6. So 36 is a multiple of 4 and also a multiple of 6. Then it says I am an even number, and 36 is an even number, and that's how I got 36.
Great job. I don't even need to add anything to that. Awesome. Awesome. So the correct answer, guys, is 36. And you would have heard Aliyah's explanation. All right, so let's move on to this one. Swan gave the clue about a number. She says, I fall between 60 and 70. The sum of my digits is less than 12. Pay close attention to that. The sum of my digits is less than 12. I am a prime number. Which number am I? So I'm seeing some nice answers coming in the chat. I'm seeing 26, 36, 64, 63, 61, 7. I'm seeing lots of different numbers here. 65, 74. We need to pay attention to the first clue. I am between 60 and 7. Whatever number we select has to be between 60 and 70. The sum of my digits is less than 12. So whatever number we select between 60 and 70, when we add the digits, the digits there, we should get less than 12. It also says that it is a prime number. Which number am I? Aliyah, please go ahead.
Miss, so my answer is 61. So it also falls between 60 and 70. And then it says the sum of my digits is less than 12. They are
Aliyah, you said you wanted to respond. You can go ahead.
Yes, Miss, I am talking. So my number is 61. It falls between 60 and 70. And it says the sum of my digits is less than 12. When you add 6 plus 1, you will get 7. So the digits will be 7. And it also says that I am a prime number, and 61 is also a prime number.
Great job. Indeed, the correct answer is 61 for all those reasons that Aliyah laid out. Number must be between 60 and 70, must be a prime number, and the digits must add to 12. That number is add less than 12, and that number is 61. 6 plus 1 adds to 7, which is less than 12. And so great job, students in the chat. I see a lot of you posting 61. Let us move on to this question. Thank you so much, Alia, for explaining as well. Lucky is allowed to eat ice cream every 9th day. If he had ice cream Saturday and Monday, when again will he have ice cream? Remember, I want you to write the answers and not A, B, C, and D. I prefer you write the answers so we can follow. All right, so I'm seeing lots of responses in the chat. I'm seeing Monday and Saturday, Wednesday and Thursday. I'm seeing those more often. Alia, would you like to respond here? Did you work it out?
Miss, I am not finished as yet, but I would like to respond.
All right, thank you. So go ahead and let us know when you're finished. All right. I'm seeing Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday and Friday. All right, so David Green is saying that it should be Wednesday and Friday. And David, you are indeed correct. The correct answer is not here. The correct answer is Wednesday and Friday. Awesome. Alia, let us know if you have that same answer as David Green.
Yes, Miss, I just got it. That's why I couldn't answer because I was still working out and didn't see the correct answer.
So we're almost at the end, guys. We have 3 more questions to go. All right, so go right ahead, Alia, and explain to us.
Miss, I didn't get the answer.
All right. Go ahead and explain to us.
Miss, can you repeat yourself if you're asking me to explain to you guys this one? Well, I would say that there is no answer there because when you start back from Monday and keep
You didn't get
counting.
an answer? I thought you said you got a different answer, like David Green.
No, Miss, I didn't get a different answer.
What answer did you get, Alea?
I got no, I got Friday, I got Wednesday, Friday. Miss, did you hear me?
All right, so go ahead and tell us how you got Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Friday is indeed the correct answer. Tell us how you got your Wednesday and Friday.
Miss, so what I did was I skipped a day from I did not count Tuesday in there. So I started from Wednesday, and then when you
Yes, I
count.
heard you, but I'm hearing you twice. So you need to listen to what we're discussing here on Zoom and mute your YouTube. So you're answering based on what I would have said on YouTube. So there is a big delay in that.
Okay, Miss. Miss, are you hearing me now?
All right. I'm hearing you.
Okay, Miss. So what I did was I skipped a day because at the first part, she also at the first sentence she skipped a day to bring it to
Are you
Monday.
finished explaining?
No, Miss, I am still explaining. So I skipped a day. I did not use Tuesday. So I said Wednesday and Wednesday, and I count 9 days, and then it led me to Friday. Miss, did you hear my explanation?
All right, great job. Great job. So we just need to count 9 days away from Monday and then 9 days away from that day that we would have gotten, which is Wednesday. Yes, I did. Thank you so much, Alia. So the correct answer is Wednesday and Friday. Let's look at this other question. Dane walked 6 kilometers in 30 minutes. Based on this rate, determine which statement is true or false. So the first statement is Dane walked 3 kilometers in 15 minutes. Is that statement true or false? Did Dane walk 3 kilometers in 15 minutes based on the statement that we have up here, based on this rate? So I'm seeing true and also false in the chat. Definitely. The correct answer is true, because if it is that he walked 6 kilometers in 30 minutes, it means that he would also walk 3 kilometers in 15 minutes. Half the amount of kilometers in half the amount of time. So the correct answer is true for this one. What about Dane walked 15 kilometers in 1 hour? Is that true or false? So what we can do is we can look at the kilometers walked and the number of minutes, and we can work out to see how many minutes Dane would take to walk 1 kilometer. So in order to do this, how could we check to find out how many kilometers or how many minutes Dane would take to walk 1 kilometer? How could we work that out? All right, so I'm seeing in the chat where Kali says 30 divided by 6, and you are so correct. If we divide 30 minutes here by 6 kilometers, we'll get the amount of minutes we'll take to walk 1 kilometer. And 30 divided by 6 will give us, good, 5 minutes. So 1 kilometer, each kilometer, it'll take 5 minutes to walk 1 kilometer. So with that in mind, we can check to see if 15 kilometers, he'll walk that in 1 hour. And based on some calculations that I realize you all have done, the correct answer here is false. He did not walk 15. He cannot walk, based on this rate, 15 kilometers in 1 hour. What about Dane walked 7 kilometers in 36 minutes? Is that true or false? Based on the rate, can Dane walk 7 kilometers in 36 minutes? All right, so I'm seeing some person saying we could multiply and we could add. Great job, guys. C is false again. So C is also false. Based on the rate of 6 kilometers in 30 minutes, 7 kilometers in 36 minutes could not be true. What about Dane walked 8 kilometers in 40 minutes? Based on the rate, is this true or false? So I'm seeing true in the chart, and definitely Dane walked based on that rate of 6 kilometers in 30 minutes. Dane walked 8 kilometers also in 40 minutes based on that rate. All right, so great job here, guys. So for the persons who did not get it correct, I want you to take a screenshot and see how best you could work on it later until you understand how to get it on your own. Let's move on to our next question. Jane was trying to remember her sister's wedding date. She remembers that it is after the 16th, but before the 22nd. Her mother says it is before the 23rd, but after the 20th. Which day was her sister's wedding date? So go ahead and work this out and let us see your answer in the chat. All right, Alia, did you work this one?
Miss, I'm almost finished. Yes, Miss, I am finished.
So I'm seeing a lot of 21 coming in the chat. I'm seeing 16 and 20. Okay. All right. So let us know your answer and also justify your answer.
Okay, Miss, my answer is C, 21st. So at the first part she said that it is before before the 16th, but it is after the 16th, but before the 22nd. So the options here would be the 17th, the 18th, and the 21st. Then her mother says that it is before the 23rd, but after the 20th. So it is before the 23rd, which means it cannot be the 22nd, and it cannot be 17, and it cannot be 18. But it is after the 20th, which means it is the 21st.
Awesome job, Alia. Awesome job. And all of you there on the YouTube live chat who says 21, 21st, you are indeed correct. Great job, guys. Great job. Now we're going to move on to our final question. All right. So we're going to move on to our final question. So please make note, our correct answer here is the 21st. C. Our final question is, you are shopping for a printer. In the specifications, you see the following. You see where the Acer printer prints 220 pages per minute. You see where the Dell printer prints 34 pages per minute. You see where the Samsung printer prints 1 page per second. The HP prints 4 pages per second. Which printer is the fastest? Go ahead and work it out and leave your answers in the chat. All right, so given that this is the last one, I really want to see some justifications in the chat. Explain why your answer is Acer. Explain why you say Samsung. Explain why you say Dell. Explain why you say HP. Go right ahead, explain your answer in the chat. And before you leave at the end, I have a little barcode that I want you to put your phone camera over and select, and it will take you to an evaluation form where you can tell us how you felt about this session. Did you like this session? And also it will tell us what you would like to see next and if you'd like to see this session again or something of the sort. So please wait for the final slide. I will also post the link in the chat for you to click on and go straight ahead and evaluate before you go. Remember that I am selecting, well, right now I think I'll be selecting 5 persons who I will be shouting out and congratulating for their participation in the session, as well as I will be creating your certificates. All right, so I want to thank you again for participating in this session. It was really awesome here being with you guys. So go ahead, tell us your answer, which printer is the fastest, and justify.
Miss, can I answer?
Definitely, Aliyah. Go ahead.
Miss, I say DHP, and why I say DHP is it prints 4 pages in 4 seconds. So what I did was I multiplied 4 by 60, which led me to 240 pages. And why I didn't choose Dell, Acer, or Samsung is that um Samsung prints 1 page per second, and that will just leave you with 60 pages. And Dell prints 38 pages per minute, so that will still be the 38 pages. And the Acer prints 220 pages per minute. So the HP will be the one who will be the printer who prints the fastest and does not consume much time.
All right, great job. Great job, Aliyah. And we definitely agree with you. And right over there on YouTube, you're realizing that you'll realize that a lot of persons are agreeing and saying that HP printer is the fastest. So basically what you have done, Aliyah, and what I would have done, and I'm thinking that a lot of persons in the chat did, is that you changed out the ones in seconds to minutes. So you worked out how many minutes will print, how many pages will print per minute for the HP, and you said 240 pages per minute. And you say 60 minutes, 60 pages per minute for Samsung. We have 34 pages per minute for Dell, 220 pages for Acer. So definitely the HP is the fastest printer. You guys have done so well. So now that we are at the end, I want you to click on this link I'm going to leave in the chat, or you can open your camera on this barcode you're seeing on the screen and go right ahead to evaluate this form. Just hold a minute so I can put the link in the chat. And you can come back at any other time and watch this. This will be posted on this channel on YouTube. And remember, guys, you need to subscribe so that when I create that video and shout out your name and talk about when you'll get your certificate or how you will get your certificate, I want you to get the notification that I have made a new video. So also go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get this notification. Thank you once again. We're at the end. Bye-bye.